Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Jackie, and this is I Am Forever Faithful channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope all is well out there with everyone. I just felt like I needed to share and be a little vulnerable, um, and because I was having a word or some self-talk with myself about being stressed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. And I know I am not the only one out there. I just feel like that the stress levels right now are at an all-time high, and stressed over the unknown, stressed over our health, stressed over debt, bills, and stressed by relationships. And I get that because I am in the midst of it. And I know that as I said before, I know that I'm not the only one. But I do find myself in a very tight financial bind as of today. And I just don't know how. I have no idea how I'm going to get myself out of this. And maybe that's has been part of the problem, me trying to get myself out of it as opposed to letting God, the divine creator, help me out of this. So a lot of times, I've gotten in my own way. Sometimes I was aware of it. A lot of times, most times I wasn't, because I was trying to deal with things on my own, in my own thinking, in my own ways. And it's not necessarily God's way, God's thinking, right? But I was like, woke up this morning like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to, be evicted. I don't know if I'm going to have electricity by the end of the week. I have no idea how my car insurance is going to get paid. I have no idea how this is all going to work out. But I woke up this morning because, I went to bed last night with a lot of things on my mind, and I was doing my best to release my burdens on to God to handle. And I have been praying and begging and all that stuff. And then I'm like, you know what? If I really want it and I'm really expecting a breakthrough, then I have to actually claim it. And so when I woke this morning, yes, those bills were on my mind, but I had a choice to either let the bills consume me or to find joy, some peace and happiness in the midst of it all. And so it had me thinking about, previous challenges, whether it be with health, relationships, or finances, or all three. It's like whatever is stressing me is actually restricting me from receiving what I've already asked for. So that's pretty much how I started my day, because I knew I needed to get up and go to the grocery store. So I was like, okay, so I can choose to have good thoughts, or I can choose to think of the things that are out of my control right now. Because it's like when you get to the point where you've tried different things, you've called different people, you've called for resources, but nothing seems to be happening on the physical, but there's a lot going on in the spiritual. And just from my own past experience, I know that God is always working behind the scenes. And it may not look like it, like right now. It doesn't look like it to me. It doesn't even feel like it right now. But I know God is behind the scenes. And therefore, I choose to remain faithful. And I am choosing to think of how far I've come, and how far God has brought me. And I'm just thinking, God didn't bring me this far to leave me. It's not going to just bring me to this point. It's like, okay, I'm done. Wash my hands of you. No, it's not happening. It's like, I hear you. I hear you. And in order for you to understand that I hear you, I'm going to send you a little something, right? To let you know I heard you. And I'm grateful, absolutely grateful for that. But my whole point is like, I'm too blessed to be stressed. First of all, I woke up. I didn't wake up. God woke me up. Let's be clear. Let me be clear. God woke me up, and he woke me up with the purpose, whether we realize our purpose or not right now. But there's a purpose for all of our lives. So I'm like, okay, I woke up with a purpose. So, and I can be thankful and grateful that I'm not in any physical pain. I can be grateful for that. I am grateful for having shelter. Now, if it's a month from now, I may not, I don't know. But today, I have it, right? I have it. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for electricity, right? To warm the home, to cook, to see, right? So thankful for that. I'm thankful for the food that I do have, right? And I'm thankful for the transportation I have, even though there's no insurance on it right now. I'm thankful for that as well. And for me, it's just like, I feel like I'm in a truly financial bind. But it's like, you know what? I have all my needs met. Every single one has been met. And everything else is a want. It really is. I have food. Yes, I want more food. And it's like, yeah, I'm not broke, right? But I would want more money, right? It's kind of like that. So it's like we've been given all our needs. Our needs are met. It's the wants that we're really, desiring. Because I'm thinking, even if you are homeless, but you're listening to this, you're blessed to even have access to the internet. If you're in the hospital right now and you're alive, that still means that you have a purpose too. Things could be so much worse than they are, but they're not. And I'm not going to focus on the negative part or the worst part, what I think would be the worst parts of my life or my situation. But I'm choosing to think of the good things, the provisions that God has provided me with. And I think that's all where we all should strive to be, is that no matter what's going on, that we have to find some peace in it all, knowing that things will work out. May not be in our timing and as soon as we want it, right? Because for me, I'm like, that was yesterday. I needed that money. That was yesterday. I needed that money. So it didn't happen. But something I've noticed from past experiences, that any time that I'm really stressed, that it is so suffocating. It suffocates my mind, my thoughts. It suffocates my body because it's stressed, and then my high blood pressure rises. It's just a domino effect that, the stress affects the mind, body, and soul. And it leaves us in a state of panic, of lack, of fret and worrying. It's not a good place to be. And I've been there so many times, like I don't even want to go back there. So I'm choosing to rejoice and celebrate. what I do have, right? Just choosing to count my blessings in the simple fact that I have people, a few people, not a lot, but the people I do have in my life are loving, kind, and supportive of me and what I'm trying to do. And it's just not, just financially, but it's emotional support, especially, during times like this. So even count the people that are in your life that are a blessing and recognize the ones who are causing you more stress. I'm thinking at this point, anything or anyone that's causing any stress needs to go. Somehow we got to find that peace. Somehow we have to find balance and stay grounded. Because I know when I'm stressed, it's very challenging for me to hear from God because I'm holding on to it as opposed to letting it go, releasing it to the divine creator to handle. And all I can do is just remember the times that I was in a worse situation and how God brought me out of that. And the times I didn't know how, when, who, and how slowly but surely things were revealed to me. And it wasn't until later on I had been through the situation that I could see how God was moving in my life. I could start connecting the dots on people, places, and things and why things happened the way that they did. Of course, you don't see it when you're going through it, but that's where the faith comes in at. We have to trust that every single thing is working out for our good. And also have to be more flexible to adapt to the changes that may come as well. Because God does not do things the way that we do things. Our blessings and breakthroughs may not come in the way that we want them to, or that we're used to, or that we are expecting them to. So I think when we are in the struggle and we're stressed, I think this is truly a test of our faith. Are we going to believe the lies that the devil keeps telling us about ourselves, our situation, right? Or are we going to believe that all things are possible? Regardless of how impossible it seems, all things are possible. It's really testing my faith. And to be honest, I'm just getting too old for this stress, these types of stresses. And I know that God has brought me out before, so many times before. And even in times when it was just me, I didn't have any support from outsiders. It was just me and God, and I had to rely strictly on God. And I believe that God is telling me now, you have to have that same type of faith. You still have to lean on me as you did before. You still have to seek me for answers and clarity and guidance and provisions, everything. And not to forget what I've already brought you through. And don't forget what I promised to bring you through and to all your dreams. But it's somehow we get stuck in this loop, in this maze of stresses. Because it's like every time you turn around, there's something else. There's someone else. It's always something. It just seems like when you deal with one issue, something else comes. But you know what? It's still a spiritual battle in the end. No matter what is going on in this physical world, on this earth, it is still a spiritual battle. And everything is starting in the spirit, not the physical. And that's how we have to handle it and attack these negative thoughts and feelings of lack. You know, the feelings of sadness and depression, just the feeling of not being enough or having enough. that is not of God. It's just not of God. And I know this because I have constantly battled these thoughts and these ideas that things are not gonna happen, but they do. They really do. It's just all about divine timing. That's it. But in the meantime, what can I do to lift my spirits? Let me count the ways that God has blessed me. Not only just verbalizing it, but even writing it out. And sometimes that really does help to shift the energy from lack to abundance. You know, like there's a house that I absolutely love and I want this house. So whenever I need a lift me up, a boost, something to motivate me, I look at pictures of that house and I start to imagine what it would be like to live in that house, to cook in that house, to entertain in that house. And that brings me joy. Or if it's a car, a vehicle that I really like, I see myself driving that car. Where am I driving to? Who's with me in the car? And it goes from even, furnishing the house. Well, I go online and I start putting things in my cart, shopping. It's anything. If I want to, help the homeless, then I'm looking for land and what am I going to build on the land? How can I make this work for them and for me, for everyone involved? It's whatever my dreams are, I start to focus more on that than my current situation. I start to make smaller steps towards my dream. Meaning, if I want land, then I need to start looking for land. Decide what state, what city, what county. Decide how many acres I want. And deciding what I want to put on there. Do I want a garden on the land? Okay, what type of garden? And how big do I want it? And what fruits and vegetables do I want to plant? Right? It's literally taking those small steps to kind of shift the mentality into abundance. All I know for sure is stress gets you nowhere. Stress begets more stress. But once we let the stress go, and I know how hard it can be to let things go, but at some point, the stress becomes so overwhelming and so unbearable that we lose sleep, that we have to do something. So we're going to have to let it go. We're going to have to let it go. And I actually do a visualization of all my problems in my hand, and I'm lifting up my hands to give it to God. And God's taking it out of my hand, and my hands are free now to receive. It is whatever you need to do to shift your mentality from lack to abundance. And to be honest, we're all blessed. We're all blessed in many different ways. We're too blessed to be stressed. And I really think when we sit and start taking account of all of our blessings, the tangible and intangible, we realize how blessed we really are. Truly, how blessed we really are. So, for me, I feel blessed to have electricity so I can turn on my music. I feel blessed that I have a voice that I can speak and I can sing. I feel blessed that I have a home where I can prepare food. I feel blessed that if I needed to get anywhere, I could. I feel blessed that I have people in my life that I can call on to support me and give me words of encouragement. I am blessed that I even woke up this morning to even make this video. So I just want to leave you all with that, is that you're too blessed to be stressed. And as long as we continue to hold on to the stress, it just delays the blessings. That's it. That's what I know for sure. from my own experience. The more stressed I am, the longer it takes for the blessings to come through. So I'm going to stop there. I hope that this helps someone, encourages someone to keep going, regardless how small or how big the steps are, to keep going, to stay focused, to remain grateful and faithful to the divine path. Until next time, thank you for joining Jackie on I Am Forever Faithful. Take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.